Hi again. I was going to tell the story. When I was in elementary school, my mom, my sister, and we took a train from Las Vegas to Virginia, and was going to go visit my Aunt Carol, who lived in, I think it was Northport, Virginia at the time. And I remember we left at the Plaza Hotel in Las Vegas, at the Plaza Hotel in Vegas. And we went through Utah, Salt Lake City, then we went through Colorado, the Rocky Mountains, then I think we went through, I think it was either Nebraska or, yeah, I think it was Nebraska, then Iowa, and then we had a stop in Chicago. And then from Chicago, we went through Indiana, Ohio, I think it was parts of West Virginia, and then we made our way to Washington, D.C., and we stopped in Washington, D.C., and we went, my mom got a taxi, and we took a cab, and we went to, like, the White House. I think we went to Congress. We went to some of those areas, and also I think when we was in Chicago, we also stopped and got to go up. At the time it was called the Sears Tower. Now it's called something else. And it was 103 stories. And I remember I was in elementary school and I was terrified of elevators. And I told my mom, I was like, can I just take the stairs? She's like, no, it's like 103 stories high. And I'm like, why not? She's like, you have to take the elevator. So I had to get over my phobia of elevators and take the elevator. And then I remember, I think it took like 3 or 4 days to get there. Then we arrived in Virginia. We went to my aunt's house. She had a new husband. His name was Jane. And then we met his family, and he had some brothers that were around my age. I think a couple were older, a couple were younger, something like that. So they were around my age. And we went to Pole Folks to eat. I think it's kind of like country type of food, basically. I think we went to the beach. It's probably Virginia Beach at the time. And so my aunt was in the military and we got to visit her there. And I think we stayed there about 2 weeks. It was a lot of fun though. And then I think we came back, and I remember coming back, and I think we went through the same route through Washington, D.C., through Chicago, through Utah. And then I remember going through the desert, and then was in the desert, and then we arrived back to Las Vegas and came back home. I think it was gone maybe 2 or 3 weeks at the time, but it was a lot of fun, and it was a good adventure for a elementary school kid to have with his family and his sister, and to be able to see the country at such a young age. I also remember I almost did something really, really stupid. I remember the trains had like different trucks, and like some of them had like food that you could eat and stuff like that. And I don't think we had a sleeper. I think we just slept in the couch, in the chair basically. So we had to sleep on that for 3 days. But I remember, I think we were stopped somewhere in the Rocky Mountains, and I loved the nature, I loved the mountains, and me being a stupid elementary school kid, I was thinking, oh, maybe I can go out there and get out of this train and just explore the mountains. So I almost opened the door and went out in the mountains. I'm so glad I did not do that. I would have been lost. I would have been cold. I probably would end up dead and missing and everything else. My mom would have been freaking out, and they would have to like come and find me and stuff like that. It was such a stupid thing to even think about doing. But I remember having that thought, like I was thinking about, oh, maybe I should leave. Oh, and I also remember on that same trip, we were in Chicago, and I think we went to like a pub, and I think the Cubs or the White Sox were playing, and it was really cool to watch a baseball game where the Cubs were playing and the White Sox were playing. So I thought Chicago was a pretty cool city to visit, one of the better cities to visit at the time. Enjoyed my time in Washington, D.C. too. I think at that time it was Reagan that was president. Yeah, so I think it was President Ronald Reagan. But that was a really nice trip I got to take when I was a elementary school kid with my sister. My sister was like 14 months younger than me, so I was probably like 11 and she was probably like 10 or so. But thank you for listening.